Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode. The title sponsor of Manny Talks Shooting is Go Fast Don't Suck. So if you need match banners for your match, check them out. They also have an awesome selection of pre-designed and customable jerseys. Don't forget, they are the home of the dry fire decals for your walls, so get those too. They've also got a plethora of patches and stickers that are hilarious and true. You know, Go Fast Don't Suck has a lot of things that you'll need on the range and off, so please check them out at gofastdon'tsuck.net. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Manny Talks Shooting, the shooting podcast on the internet, because I impersonate Brian Conley, and I'm jealous because I don't have a magical mystery tour to go ride around in, to go to matches and record podcasts with. So I just recorded my spare office, so it's all good. But guys, we're sitting down with a young folk. I mean, he's not that young. He's still a junior, but not hopefully for too much longer. It's Mr. Dillion Walker. How you doing, Dylan?
I'm good.
Good. That's good to hear. Glad. Thank you for accepting my invite kind of on a short last minute notice. I watched you shoot via the internet, South Carolina, and enough people are like, you need to talk to Dylan. I'm like, I'm already on that.
I appreciate that.
So,
thank you.
No problem. It was enough good people, and your match footed looked good. So I was like, well, he's like a junior national champion. So I mean, he's got to be at least somewhat good, right? But so Dylan, for people who don't know you, who are you, and how did you get into shooting?
Well, my name's Dillion Walker. I started when I was 8 years old with a 22 single stack Trojan from SDI Trojan that I inherited from my grandfather. I shot that for a couple years and then went to a 9 single stack. And then when I was 12 years old, I went to an SDI open gun. Ever since then, I've been racing. Coming up on 10 years of competing in USPSA. It's been the most fun I've ever had. I just love it.
Wow, so that was pretty cool. You know, you inherited that Trojan from your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Did he participate in the practical shooting sports, or was he more of a hobbyist?
Oh, he was big time into the sport. He was around when the USPSA first got founded. And he was. I mean, a lot of the older generation know him. I'm not gonna call Bill Drummond old here, but him and my dad had a good relationship. And well, not him and my dad. Sorry, him and my grandfather had a good relationship. Back when Bill Drummond took like a big break and then came back to his first match in a long time, his first major in a long time. My grandfather had recognized him, and then they kind of hit it off. But he's been part of the sport for since the beginning, since like the 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but Bill Drummond, I think he finally became senior. He finally went into senior division.
It's crazy.
So he's old enough to be called an old person, but he's not that old because he still can whoop a lot of people's butts.
I mean, to me, he's really old, but like to everyone else, he's not that old. He shoots like he's like 20, but
wow,
it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this is true. This is absolutely true. He shoots like he's a phenomenal beast. Like, I mean, he trains with Aaron Edens from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I don't think there's anyone bad in the sport. I mean, no one's typically bad-hearted at all. I mean, everyone's pretty down to earth. But all right. So you've almost been in the sport 10 years. You know, you've seen a lot of changes then, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I've definitely seen the whole some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, it's pretty darn cool to be able to go through a lot of changes. So, you said you started with that STI Trojan, but did you pretty much go right into open after that, or
I had
did you play in any other division?
So I started with the 22 conversion kit on the Trojan, and I shot that till I turned 9 years old. I would shoot without the score pretty much. So I would just go to the matches and practice with my dad and, just practice gun safety. Then when I turned 9 years old, I went to a 9mm single stack Trojan. And I shot that for about 3 years. Got to C class, I think I was. And then I went to open. with a SDI Open. The funny story about that, my dad ordered that for himself, but it came on my birthday, and so I just assumed it was for me. And he couldn't like turn me down because I was like, a 12-year-old little kid with my little Batman shirt. It was just like too cute to like just say no to. And so ever then I've been shooting open. I was C class open for maybe like a year and a half to 2 years, then B class for like about a month, and then just straight to A. Um, I would, I've
Mm-hmm.
also shot CO during the winter time. I'm thinking about getting into limited optics after nationals, but still kind of roaming around. I did shoot one production match.
Gotcha.
I did not really
Silly
enjoy
production.
it. open,
Yeah. Well,
open
it
is
didn't
the
have a
way.
red dot or a compensator.
Oh no.
It truly is. I mean,
Mm,
open is definitely a fun sport. I
mm,
mean, as much as people complain about how loud the guns are, they're just so fun to
mm,
shoot.
mm. I mean, it's loud from like another person's perspective. When you're actually shooting it, it's not that bad. I would say open is my
Yeah.
favorite division by far. Just the whole idea of open, just it's a completely different game.
Oh yeah, 100%. You
Mm,
definitely have to go for fast, and you got to shoot.
mm,
Still have to shoot alphas.
mm.
I mean, major power factor is great, but it doesn't hurt you, but
Oh yeah,
it makes a lot of people sloppy. I'm
oh yeah.
fine. I am finally getting dialed back in
Mm,
of not being so sloppy.
mm. That's my biggest weakness probably right now. Actually, it's second. My mental game is my weakest part, and then my points are my next weakest part. Um, I found that if I shoot 92 to 94% of points, I'll be fine. But anything below that is kind of like the danger zone.
Hmm. So why do you say that your mental game is one of your weaknesses?
Um, well, so I feel like I put too much pressure on myself, and so that leads to poor performances. Like at South Carolina, obviously I'm still proud of coming fourth place, but I put a lot of pressure on myself to do well at that match. And I found, like for me, I find that I shoot best when I'm just having fun, like with my buddies and just shooting for fun. But that match, I went to a completely different mentality of just like not necessarily trying too hard, but thinking too much, kind of. And that really affected my shooting. I had a lot of makeups. I didn't drop too many points. I was just really slow because of my makeups. I would say after about the first half of the match is when I finally like started coming back, and then I gained some ground back, but it kind of hurt. Um, Especially at nationals too. Nationals was my worst match last year. Just because of mental aspects and whatnot. I feel like once I need to figure out how to fix that. Really.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, and when you cut, you were less than 10% behind Mike at South
Mm,
Carolina, and if you had bad mental issues, I will be very impressed when you figure that out, and where you could be at. I mean,
mm,
which I'm very fortunate. Like I'm very okay with. I had a bad stage. I'm just gonna
mm,
leave it there. I'm very fortunate that I can just cut it off and be like, all right,
mm,
let's prep for this one. Let's visualize and do
mm,
this stage. So I'm very lucky in that. But
mm. That's a very hard skill
so
to get down.
yeah, oh yeah, and I mean, there's still everyone, figuring that out. But
Mm,
I don't know. I'll admit my own weakness. Probably my biggest weakness is a little bit of stage planning on what's kind of better
mm,
or
mm.
what's the most advantage, like what plan is going to work best for me, kind of
Right.
thing. Especially locally, when I shoot, I'm typically one of the best guys on the squad. So everyone's
Mm,
like, "What are you going to do on this stage? What are you doing?" I'm like,
right.
"I'm looking at it for the first time. Y'all have like looked at it 4 times," and I'm like,
Mm,
so I'm taking some simple plans, and I could miss some pretty big
right.
stuff, really, if I
Mm,
with that. But yeah, so that's my biggest weakness at this
mm.
point. But so do you remember what major match was your first ever major?
I do. It's I forgot what year it was, but the North Carolina sectional. I think it was 2015 or 2014. It's one of those. But it was the NC section. I think it was my second year in shooting 9mm in single stack, and then Gary Byerly had offered me a slot to shoot. be a match. And so I ended up shooting it. I think they gave me a plaque for like single stack junior. It was looking back on it, it was a really nice thing for them to do. But it was NC section 2015 or 2014, I think. I forget which.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. And you were shooting junior single stack. Was there enough juniors to qualify, or they just give you the
No way.
plaque?
I think they just gave it to me, like a participation award. But I'll still take it.
Mm-hmm.
A little bling never hurt
Nothing wrong with
anybody.
it. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. No bling ever hurt anybody.
Mm-mm.
No, but God, I'm still coming down. I'm still trying to get rid of this raspy voice. Like, I feel a hell of a lot better, but this voice, like, I don't know, it might make for deep, sexy radio, but it's still annoying to listen to yourself talk like this. But so you have to deal with that for a little while. But what, besides being a young person at that time shooting single stack, was it because those were the only guns that would fit, or it was just kind of what you were given, so you kind of made it work?
It was a mix of that, and it was the easiest gun for me to handle at that time. I had really small hands, and I was obviously not super strong because I was a kid. So for me, I found that the 9 single stack was just the easiest one to shoot. And I had already been dry firing it, built my fundamentals on that platform. Like I had spent pretty much 2 years just prepping with that single stack, so it was just the easiest one for me to shoot with at that time.
Mm. Yeah, no, yeah, and that makes absolute sense. The single stack is definitely now. When you shot single stack, did you have to get like extra thin grips, or did stock grips kind of fit you okay?
Oh, the stock ones are fine. I just couldn't hit the mag button, so I'd hit it with my left hand, and then I used to do this mag flip where I'd just like flip the mag well really aggressively and try and like flip the magazine out. It was really weird. Looking back on it, it's really funny to think about, but there's a lot of cool pictures out there with just the mag flying out the gun whenever I'm reloading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did that before John Wick. Or now, because everyone calls that the Wick flick. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of people who do that now because of those movies, but it makes sense when they were teaching him on the Glocks, because they could stick if they weren't 100% vertical. So if you just can't flick the wrist over, the mags eventually gonna fall out. But so when you got your DVC open, what was the biggest hurdle you feel like you had?
I would say one, from just going from irons to dots, and just going from sight focused to target focused, because I just wasn't aware of those kind of concepts at that time, and then also learning recoil management better, just because it's a bigger platform. I was also still growing at the time, so I used to be like the size of a mini popper pretty much. And so since I was growing, I was finally like getting used to like actually being able to grip the gun. So I was able to just reach the mag release with just my right hand with the extended mag release button. Um, but I would say the hardest part was just recoil management, and then just getting used to the concussion of the open gun instead of just the pew pew of the single stack.
No, yeah, that makes complete sense on that part. But where is that question? I doubt you were the size of a mini popper. Maybe a full size popper, but I mean,
I was the size of a mini popper. I was pretty small. I was about the height of my dad's waist, I think.
Did they get you a flag to stick on your back so you didn't get shot when you were resetting?
Whenever there were like ports where you'd have to like get your gun over the port, I would have to get a step stool and step on top like a box or something, and just kind of jump into it. It was really bad. And there were a lot of times at matches where they'd have to move the target slower for me just because I was that short. It would just go over the berm if I shot it.
Now, oh Lord! Now, do you only shoot at Sir Walter, or do you shoot other local matches as well?
So we try to get a match in about every week, but it just depends on the month, honestly. First weekend is Sir Walter, obviously. Second weekend, sometimes we'll shoot TRC. And then third weekends, kind of depends. We usually shoot with a group, so it kind of depends on what the group's feeling. but we definitely shoot first and fourth weekend guaranteed, pretty much. That's Sir Walter and then Pitt County Wildlife Club. Both are great matches, hosted by great guys. Obviously, I have no bias because my dad's the match director for Sir Walter, so no bias there, obviously. But they have great matches down here in North Carolina. It's just really fortunate to be in this location.
Yeah, that's typically I typically shoot fourth and first weekend. It's just typically my schedule as well. With what we have available up here, it's kind of works out. It's unfortunate. Well, we up here above the Mason-Dixon line believe in shooting on Sundays, because, but everyone below the Mason-Dixon line is like, oh no, Sunday's for the Lord, so we shoot on Saturdays. Which there's nothing wrong with it unless you work.
We typically practice every Wednesday, and then when leading up to a major match, we'll shoot Wednesday, and then match on Saturday, and then another practice on Sunday. Then just to make sure it's all working right.
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunate for me is like I'd love Saturday matches because then you have Sunday to relax and do nothing.
Right.
But then when you get scheduled like overtime at work on Saturdays, it's like, well, this blows. I can't go shoot the match. So.
But that's why I'm glad I'm still in high school because I don't have to worry about that.
Oh yeah, I mean you're lucky. And then your dad now the question is, does your dad let you drive to the matches by yourself, or do you have to ride with him?
I drive him actually. He went from being my caddy to me being his taxi driver, pretty much. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. It's pretty funny actually. It's like, no, you get to drive. Usually most dads are like, I'm always driving. Doesn't matter how old, I'm going to drive.
I mean, I got all my driver's ed hours through driving to matches and practices because the range is about 30 minutes from the house. So I can get my night hours and my day hours in back when I was getting my license at the first time. And so it was pretty fun. I'd say shooting is where I've like bonded with him the most. I feel like we got like a lot closer just because of shooting. Really like that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I wish I had this sport when I was growing up. I found it very much later in life. I can't say much later because I'm not that freaking old, but when it comes down to it, is like I wish there was something like this for me and my dad to do when I was growing up, but it definitely was not the case. So now I guess I'll ask this question: what's the most memorable moment you have about shooting with your dad?
Oh my god. That's a really hard question. Maybe I think when I won the Carolina Classic last year. It's either that or when I first went to my first nationals with him. The first nationals I went to was 2018 nationals, the classifier nationals. We stayed down there with a couple buddies in the Airbnb. It was really fun. We had a great time. We stayed an extra day just to like check around Florida. It was pretty fun. And then the classic, I got to shoot with him, which is really fun. I always love shooting with him. I mean, I shoot with him pretty much every match I go to, anyways. But I just really like being with him because like he always bounces ideas. We always bounce ideas off of each other. And then I used to just copy his stage plans, and now it's gotten the other way around where he just copied me. It's pretty funny.
Well, as the match director, it's like, he's the last person to roll up to the stage. Something went wrong somewhere else, so they're getting back, and they're like, all right, it's your turn to shoot, by the way. And they're like, oh, what's the plan?
Yeah, the first stage at Sir Walter every month, he's always put at the the bottom of the list, just because he's always, doing match director things. And so he'll just come in, have like 5 minutes to shoot, and then we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, well, it's not that bad. I mean, his last name already is Walker, so makes it. It's not like you guys started with A or something. Be like, oh, he's the first shooter. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you just mentioned you won the Carolina Classic. You said last year?
Correct.
Okay. Now, how was that for you? I mean, because you live in North Carolina. How does that feel to be win the state match?
Oh, it was surreal. Honestly, it's probably the most like joy I've gotten from a match. Like obviously, I shoot every match. I'm like really happy to shoot it. But our squad that year was just pretty much all my best buddies. Pretty much everyone on the Blue Bullet squad. Best team in the country, just saying. But It was just a really fun time, just cracking jokes the whole time. Because with staff reset, obviously I feel lazy not being able to like work, but with staff reset, I was able to just socialize pretty much, and it was just made the whole match experience a lot more fun. Um, it was just a really good experience.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can imagine. You win the match high overall. You beat David Lyle by over almost just under 5%. So
Mhm.
it's pretty impressive on that part. How true question is, how close are you to making master? Or
I'm
sorry,
still a master.
grandmaster.
I'm at 94.5
Mm-hmm.
currently. But I am sandbagging, if I'll be honest, because for me, my mental image of a GM, like I'm not there yet, in my opinion. Um, my goal for this year is to get top 16 in nationals, and then once I hit that goal, then I'll be a GM. Is the way I look at it.
Right.
Mm.
Let's see. Oh, that's what that's called. Yeah, I'm looking up last year's race open nationals
Mhm.
just because I'm curious to
I think I
see.
was 33rd, 34th, somewhere around there.
We will see. Now that was in Talladega. What
Mhm.
was that? Was that your best finish at an open nationals, or was
I
that
believe so.
like an average finish for you? Okay.
I think. Well,
Yeah.
I've only been to 4 nationals. I think 2018,
Mm-hmm.
22, 23. I don't know. I don't remember if I went to 22 or not. But 2018, I was like 214th or something like that. And then 22, I was like top 50s something. And then this past year, I was 33rd. I forget, but somewhere around
35th.
there. Mhm.
35. Yep. 82.24% of Christian.
Mhm.
Um, 280, 286 alphas, 111 in Charlie, 17 deltas,
It-
12. That can't be right. 12 mics, 3 no
yeah,
shoots, a
I
procedural.
shot a pretty ugly match.
Oh, no penalty. No penalty mics. All right.
Mm.
You can feel better about that. But hey, I mean, everyone has. Typically, a lot of people don't come out of nationals unscathed of the dreaded mic, right?
Mm.
It's usually how that goes. Yeah.
But last
Eh,
year's match
you
was
live some,
pretty
you learn some,
difficult.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of people said that, and
Mm.
and
I mean, it
that's
wasn't necessarily
normal.
that the stage designs were difficult. It was just like every bobber pretty much had a tuxedo on it. And it's not
Hmm.
like the stages were difficult; it's just the shots were difficult. It was a lot like South Carolina, honestly. Um, like the stages were
Hmm.
deceitfully easy looking, but when you actually shot them, they were a lot more
Hmm.
difficult.
Yeah, that makes
Mm.
sense. Though that truly makes sense.
Mm.
You give people enough rope to hang themselves, and
Oh
then
yeah.
you let them do what they got to do,
Mm.
right? So, right. So, I mean, you still be proud. I mean, you came in 35th. First high junior.
Mm.
Only can go up from here, right? You
Oh
can
yeah.
only go, and that's nice to see. You're gonna try to reach into the top 16.
Mm.
So, which in all reality, but from 16th place last year to where you finished was
Mm.
only like 4%. Like
Yeah.
it was not that big of. It was not. Actually, it's less than that because 16th was Christian. No, it was Shannon Smith at
Mm.
85.58, and you at 82.24. So it's
Mm.
not like
It's like
there's only a
one
few
mic.
percentage difference.
Mm.
Nope. But hey, nothing wrong with
Mm.
that. So,
Oh yeah.
we were just you mentioned South Carolina
Mm.
in the Blue Bullet squad. So I guess let me talk about Blue Bullet squad first. So,
Okay.
how many people on the Blue Bullet squad shoot in open?
Ooh, I don't actually know. It might just be me. Uh, I know. So our big guys, we have Stoger and Mason Lane, but Stoger and Mason
Hmm.
shoot CO. So I'm not really. Ooh, I know I'm the only North Carolina guy that shoots open. Um,
Hmm.
I think I'm the only open blue bullet shooter. I'd have to fact check that,
Gotcha.
but
Right. So with shooting blue bullets, How many people make fun of you for shooting blue bullets out of your gun?
Oh, nobody. Because
Nobody.
Blue Bullets was originated in North Carolina, so pretty much
Mhm.
everyone knows of them. And well, our whole squad pretty much is the Blue Bullet team because we're all like we're really good friends, practice with each other every week. Like we're pretty tight knit. We're kind of like family. I'll be honest. Like
Mhm.
shooting has given me a second family, and that's something I can always just never forget. Um, like obviously it comes with its ups and downs. Well, not ups and downs, but I just really like the sport. I always want to have. I'm always gonna have a love for it, regardless of what happens with drama and whatnot. But
Right. It makes
Mhm.
sense, but
Mhm.
usually most people, will make fun of an open shooter for shooting a coated bullet out of their
Mhm.
gun. Because they're like, "Oh, you got to clean the comp."
Mhm.
I do have a trick for this, which is funny, is the fact that I run lead coated bullets through it,
Mhm.
and then I will shoot like hollow points or like plated bullets and
Mhm.
clean it out the comp. It's wonderful. So I'll just mix it up. Like my practice or local ammo will be like lead coated bullets,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to a major. Well, I'm gonna clean my comp out then."
That's funny. For
So you
me, I
just
like
shoot the plated
to
or coat. Yeah, the plated.
Mhm. I like to get a dental pick and just
Mhm.
kind of scrape the bottom, and then I'll put what's it called? The spray. I forgot what it's called. Oh, I'm brain farting. It's like a coat that you just put on it, and it helps make sure it doesn't like stick to your comp at all. It's nice. It's not actually that bad to clean. It takes like 2 minutes. So,
Yeah.
mm,
Oh, it's not bad then.
mm.
Not bad for you. Yeah. Are you still shooting that DVC open, or did you switch guns at some point?
I'm still shooting the staccatos.
Okay.
We have three, and yeah, we just kind of use them. They're fun guns. They shoot nice. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with
Mhm.
it. So, just nothing to change.
Gotcha. And like absolutely, if they work, they run. That's
Mm.
more power to you, right? You
Mm.
don't have. Have you had to replace a slide or a barrel yet?
So when they first started coming out with them, um, they had design issues where the comp was too close to the slide, so the comp would actually crack. But they fixed those. And now if we have any issues, it's mainly the slides. I did have one instance where I sheared the lugs, but I mean, it's not major. It happens.
Hmm.
Mm.
Now, do you ever have any plan or hope to move to 38 Super Comp?
Um, Not really. Just because I mean, there's a slight gun performance advantage, but I mean, it's just so much more expensive to where it's just kind of I don't really see the benefit of it. Like obviously, if I got it for free, I would shoot it, but because there's a cost to everything, it's not worth it for me to want to shoot 38 super comp.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand that for sure. So you shot South Carolina. Talk
Mm.
about South Carolina, I guess, for a minute now. So what did you think of the? I mean, you said it was deceiving. Looked deceivingly easy. But what did you
Mm.
think of the match? As an overall, did you like the experience of going to the South Carolina over others?
Honestly, this South Carolina was the, if not the best, one of the best majors I've ever shot. Um, yeah, the crew down there absolutely killed it. Tom Castro and everything. Todd Todd Holmes and Tom Castro, they absolutely nailed it. I really liked the vendors area and the fact they got the alien to come, which was really cool. Um, but the whole match, it was just perfect. I really enjoyed the staff reset. Obviously, I'm a sucker for staff reset. All the stages flowed great. We never waited at all. Um, Even the rain, it did come, but we had waterproof targets, so it didn't even bother anybody. Um, like everyone was great. It was a really good match. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
No, that's that is nice, right? You have a good experience. The waterproof targets help. Staff
Mm.
reset. I mean, you're very accustomed to staff reset up in your neck of the woods because it just seems like
Yeah.
that's what North Carolina, South Carolina, and
Mm.
Georgia do. They
Mm.
they put on staff reset matches.
Mm.
Did So when you go to a major match that's not staff reset, do you feel out of place?
Not really. It's just pretty much what you do at a local. I mean, you just pace, you have
Hmm.
fun. It's just that you wait for the ROs to kind of clear you before you go. I mean, there's not much different to it. It's just like with staff reset, I find you get to socialize more, you get to talk more with your competitors, and just kind of brainstorm more. Um, and then you're just not walking around as much, so I feel more. I have more energy when it's staff reset. But obviously, that's because I don't go to the gym
Hmm.
enough. But
You have to go to the gym?
well, I feel the need to.
Nah,
I enjoy going.
yeah. Absolutely nothing wrong in
Mm.
that. Now, are you a morning gym person? Well, I'm sorry. Do you go before school or do you go after school?
There's no way I could go before school. I don't get up early enough for that. I always go after school if I were to go, or like after dinner.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mm.
Now, do you did your mom and dad make you go get a real job after school?
I got one over the summer. Um, and then I was looking. I'm still trying to get one right now, just because my senior year is about to end. So I'm kind of cruising through, so I have more time on my hands. But I'm currently in the tennis season, so I'm kind of stuck at school until like 5 every day. So it's kind of tricky to get a job with that kind of scheduling.
So, okay, so you play tennis.
Mhm.
So how well what in what applications has tennis helped your shooting?
Everything movement related. Um, for me, I feel like movement came a lot more naturally than it comes for most people. Just because with tennis, you have a lot of drop steps. You have, the split step, obviously. So you have a lot of those short bursts of explosive movements, and that really translate well to USPSA. And I just feel like I was able to keep a, I'm able to keep more balance than I was able to before I started playing tennis. Kind of like
Mhm.
Mason Lane with playing pickleball.
Right. So speaking of pickleball, um, so you're oh Lord, so playing pickleball. Have you thought about picking up a pickleball racket and playing that for
I played
funsies,
with
or
I
is
played
it
with my
like no,
friends,
I play tennis
but
like
no, I don't really believe in that because I don't. Tennis is my second sport, so I don't take it as serious as I do USPSA. But honestly, I don't really understand the whole rivalry. I feel like you're going outside, you're having fun. I don't think there's an issue behind playing tennis versus pickleball. But
gotcha.
mm,
Nothing wrong. They're putting some pickleball courts in over here in our little
mm,
town, a couple blocks over. So we're gonna give it a try
mm,
once they open it up because they're outside courts. So,
mm. It
but
looks fun.
no, so that's kind of cool. So the movement stuff, right? With
Hmm.
drop step, I can definitely see that. The drop stepping
Hmm.
with tennis. Now, do you play singles or doubles tennis
I play
typically for
both.
high school? What do you think you excel more at, singles or are you better as a team?
Ooh. Mm, honestly, depends on the day. Um, Also, well, so lately I've been having a knee injury, so I've only been playing doubles. Um, just because it's a lot less wear and tear on my knee. I feel like I have more fun playing doubles because you're in a team environment. And you get to collaborate with people, you get to share ideas. And I feel like there's a lot more strategy with it too. And it's just more enjoyable with just playing with your friends. Um, just really competitive.
Hmm.
Mm.
No, I can definitely see that. Lord have mercy, where did my thought go? Oh, I guess here's my thought. Now, do you have when playing tennis? Has there
Mm.
been multiple times? Has there been a time where there's not good communication between you and your partner, and you thought they were going to get the ball when they thought you were going to get the ball?
That that has happened. I mean, so we I got a new doubles partner last year. And so at the start we had a lot of kind of communication issues, but we've been working through that. And this year we're looking a lot better, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, that is pretty
Mm.
cool. Now, um, doubles has, so for people who don't know, who don't follow tennis, and I the only reason I knew is I played a little bit coming up in school. I would play, we did a couple clinics, and I never tried out for like a team or anything, but I did enough tennis clinics, so I was like, okay, I understand this. Not very coordinated to do it, but do you when it? Oh, how do I say this? The court's bigger for doubles than it is singles. Has that ever been an issue for you? But switching between singles and doubles play.
Not necessarily. It's kind of like going from CO to open, kind of. With CO, you need more hesitation. With open, you can let it rip a little more. And it's kind of the same process.
Right. Now, do you and your partner rotate on who's in the front? Or closer to the net, I should say?
Not really. We'll try to kind of approach if we can, just to kind of be more offensive. It's kind of more adaptive. We don't really strategize who's going to play closer or not. But
no, that makes sense. That does make sense. Lord have mercy. Oh, so that's kind of cool. I didn't know you played tennis, so that's kind of interesting. So how did you find tennis as a sport?
So this is a really weird story, but when my grandfather had passed away, after his funeral, we went to one of my uncle's homes, and we were playing ping pong, and I enjoyed ping pong, so I was like, "Mom, can I play ping pong?" And so my mom was like, "Well, there's no table tennis lessons, but we can get you a tennis lesson." And so that's kind of how it started. It was it's a really weird story, but that's how it happened.
That's not a bad story though. But yeah, so I remember playing. I'm not good at ping pong either, right? So I don't know what it is. I can shoot guns really well and I can move around the stage really fine, but when it comes to playing ping pong or tennis, I was like, that's not for me. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. And you said you did get a job over the summer, so you could help pay for some primers, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I worked at McDonald's, so I wasn't making that much.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with working McDonald's for your first job. Nothing wrong.
It was actually pretty fun. My coworker's really nice, so
Yeah.
it was actually pretty enjoyable. Not something I could do for the rest of my life, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Do you have a summer job lined up for this summer after school, or what?
I'm not really sure yet. Just because we're going to Alaska right after I graduate, so I'm kind of in a time crunch because I got to move into college. So I'm still kind of working out that schedule. So we're trying to figure out like if I'll have time to actually get a schedule where people won't be like, "Oh, this won't work for you." But
So here's a question then: where are you going to college at?
I'm not super sure about that yet. I was honestly debating on just going to community college for 2 years, get the gen eds out the way, and then just transferring to like NC State. But I'm still trying to narrow down my major, so I feel like that'll kind of help narrow down the college choices a lot more too.
That's not a bad idea, and especially like it'll say whoever's paying for your college, those first 2 years getting those gen eds done at a community college,
Ton of money.
definitely gonna save you a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people I graduated high school with who went to college right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they get to pay a steep bill for all that.
It's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, so definitely I recommend you going to going to community college first, and then going to NC State. I mean, it's a good choice right there. And then you're kind of you can stay close to home, kind of. Well, you can stay close to home for a little while longer, and then not move that far.
NC State's only about 30 minutes from my house, so it'd be pretty nice.
Oh, you can even stay at home. You don't even have to move into college. I don't know how your parents will feel about that if you're actually not going, you're staying at home for college.
Yeah, no. I reckon I'd get kicked out after a little bit.
Oh yeah. You can't be that bad of a kid, right?
No.
Uh, yeah. Anyway, so kind of looking to, are you with going to college?
Mhm.
Do you see that your shooting is going to have to take more of a side? Like, are you going to have to back out of more matches going to college, or are you going to be able to shoot this kind of at the same pace you are?
Well, so currently, the way I have it worked out with my parents is I won't go to a major if I miss more than 2 days of school for it. And so that's the only reason I'm able to go to nationals, because I can miss Thursday and Friday of school and be back by Monday. But so that's why I can shoot Area 6 and most of the state matches close to me. But IPSC Nationals is one of the matches I wanted to go to, but it just didn't work out just because I've got finals next month. Plus, I'd have to take pretty much 3 days off of school just to attend it. I don't know. I just have to figure out how college will work out. Because I figured even if I miss a class, they won't care as long as I'm paying them money. So as long as I get my work done, I don't think it'll be an issue.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. Your studies are important, so I don't blame you. I don't blame your parents for saying that to you too, right? So nothing wrong with that. So coming into 2024, what majors are current other than you wish you could have gone to IPSC, which was next weekend, but by the time this releases, it'll have already had happened. But and you've already shot South Carolina, so what's still on the list for the year?
We've got Delmarva coming up in 2-3 weeks, towards the end of April, and then I've got Area 6 Nationals, and then North Carolina Section, I believe.
Okay, so decent amount of majors still. So that's good.
Thank you for watching another episode of Manny Talks Shooting. I greatly appreciate it, and if you could do me a favor, please go patronize our sponsors here when you are available. We've got Hunters HD Gold, Go Fast Don't Suck, Outdoor Dynamics, Make Stuff Better, Range Panda, Southern Barbecue, Laugh and Load, Summit City Bullets, 2 Alpha Apparel, and Tom Castro Shoot Academy. Now let's get back to this episode.
We just talked about the majors that you're still going to shoot left for the year. Lord, but my question left my brain. I don't understand why that happened. It happens sometimes, but as long as I fill the air, we'll be okay. There we go. I think here's the question I was going to be at. So, you got a couple majors left for the season. You're always going to shoot Sir Walter, and you're going to try to shoot Pitaway, right? That's the other match you like to shoot. There it is. Now I lost my. It was there and it was gone. I blame your computer. It's okay though. I won't blame you too bad. So within the next 5 years, I know it's going to be a lot of change for you, because. Well, actually, here's a better question, I guess. When do you stop becoming a junior?
Next month. I'll be 18 in May.
Oh.
For IPSC, I still have 3 years, but for USPS, I only have a month.
Right. Okay. So with that, will you still be eligible as a junior the next time the World Shoot comes around?
Ooh, it's 2025. I think. Is it 2025?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'll still be a junior.
Okay. So is the goal and aspirations to fill a World Shoot junior slot then for open?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Because I'll be honest, I haven't informed myself fully on the whole process of a World Shoot slot. I know you have to get an IPSC Nationals in, and then some other qualifications, but I don't really know what they are. But eventually I do want to go to one. I just don't know when that'll be.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Totally makes sense. But so I guess here's that question I had was, I know a lot of things are going to change. You get done with high school, going to college. Where would you like to see your shooting in the next 5 years?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I want to be well. So there's a lot of ways I could go with it. Um, there's always the self like kind of self image kind of way of looking at it. Like, okay, am I a GM
Mm-hmm.
at this time or but also goals wise, I want to be able to compete with the big boys. I want to be able to join Super Squad eventually. But obviously that whole experience is a whole scary thing. Just because
Mm-hmm.
it's Super Squad. It it's more intimidating than it actually sounds. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, definitely. Sounds more intimidating than it sounds, but it
mm,
definitely. I think there's a lot of good aspirations in there too,
mm,
right? Where, and like I said, you don't even know where you're going to be in life. Who says you might not be moved out of North Carolina
mm.
and living somewhere far away from home, right?
Yeah.
You never know. You might not be able to shoot. A
Mm,
career path might take you, and you don't know what you're going to be doing. Now,
mm,
you said you don't know what your major is going to be right now,
mm.
but you have. Do you have have you had any thoughts on that yet, or is it just
Um,
completely up in the air?
I was thinking about uh doing my undergrad something like biology or something, and then going towards a pre med route for either pediatrics or something like prosthetics. Not super sure about that yet.
Hmm.
I just want a job that will kind of where I feel like I can help people. I want to be able to make a difference, kind of, but also not put myself in like danger, which is kind of how I ruled out law enforcement, military route. Um,
Hmm. Gotcha. Fair enough. So this is the part of the show where I like to ask the listener questions. The people who are crazy enough
mhm.
to send in questions for the guest, right? So I guess this first one's not a question, but I guess you need to put this into context. What is the Dylan flips?
Oh, okay. So that's the mag flip I was talking about with when I was shooting single stack. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I couldn't reach the mag button, and then my dad would also do the flip, but not as exaggerated as I did it. And so I would just like really aggressively like throw it out the gun, pretty much. There was this one stage where there was a jungle run, and I had actually lost this one of the mags in the bush. And then we came back next month and we found it because it had gotten like tumbled down by the rain. But there's a lot of good pictures out there of me just flipping it and getting like 10 seconds of airtime.
That's funny. That's too funny, but that makes sense. Now that makes sense. And then um Maddie wants to. Well, no, actually, Maddie. That was Maddie's question. So, Mr.
Okay,
Wolf wants
that
to
makes
know
sense.
why you can't hit any mini. You can't hit mini poppers.
Oh my, Brian. Uh, I expected that one from him. Um, so for me, I lack a lot of visual patience and trigger control. Like my fundamentals are dookie, if I'm being honest. But it's just a lot of rushing when I shoot. But I feel like I'm finally getting to a point where I can, well, in practice at least, in practice I'm able to like kind of do a lot more throttle control. But applying to a match is like where I'm having difficulties with, if I'm being honest. I feel like I peaked last August before I left to go to Japan for about a month. And then ever since then, I've been kind of trying to relearn what I learned in that like 2 month frame that summer. And so
Hmm.
I feel like I'm finally kind of getting back, but I'm still having trouble applying it. Mm.
Mm, gotcha. That does make sense. Excuse me. Sorry, I really should. Sorry, audio listeners. I should not have done that the first time. I didn't mute my microphone, so you had to listen to my nasty cough. Sorry, guys. I probably am leaving that in there because I'm too lazy to edit it. But um, so so do you have any quote unquote rivals in the sport?
um, well, I guess Matt Wolf. Um, but honestly, I try not to think more about, not try to think about beating people. I just want to perform at my level, if that makes sense. Um, I
Mhm.
used to really want to beat Todd Jarrett. He shoots our monthly match every month. And I've grown really close with him over the past couple of years. Um, I really look up to him as a mentor. I used to kind of chase him and then do whatever he does, but obviously slower with less alphas. And then I finally got to where like I can just shoot to my standard without comparing myself to people. And I feel like that's been my
Mhm.
biggest breakthrough as of yet.
Gotcha. No,
Mm,
that's cool. I mean,
mm.
yeah, Todd Jarrett has been a pillar in the sport
Oh yeah,
forever. I mean, God, he's
multi-time
he's
world
so old. God,
champion. He's probably won more national
he's not
titles in
that
years
old,
I've been
but
alive.
oh, probably. I mean, don't let him tell you because you might not have enough time in the day to listen to
I mean,
that.
he started in what the
But
80s. He's been shooting 40 something years. No, I think he said shooting like 50 something years. A long time.
right, very long time,
Hmm.
absolutely. But no, the Todd Jarrett's a good dude. He's one of those guys I haven't asked. I got to get him on here. I don't know if I have the not the attention span, but he probably could tell more stories than I have time for. But
Hmm.
no, he's a good guy to
Hmm.
talk to. It's nobody. I don't think anybody speaks bad of Todd Jarrett. So, did he shoot the match yesterday?
I gotta remember. I don't believe so. He shot the rifle match. I think he's at the NRA championship currently, which is why I
Oh,
don't think
yep,
he was
that
here.
makes sense.
Mm,
That would make sense for
mm,
sure. So, um, yeah. So I think we got through all my questions I had lined up for you. But I guess have a couple questions before I let you go because I typically ask most of these questions before anyone actually leaves. So, there we go. There's my list. But so what? So we talked about this. You said you've had issues with your mental game,
mm.
but what does your make ready look like?
Ooh. Okay. Well, so before I even get to the make ready line, I always visualize. I always get enough reps to where it like the whole stage in my head just flows without any hiccups or any mistakes. Um, and so in that whole visualization process, I'm building up my confidence. I'm thinking about this stage and like that stage only. And so I'm just repeating and repeating and repeating to where that's all I'm thinking about. Like when I get to the line, I'm just not even thinking really. And I finally I've built a process pretty much. Um, and so every
Hmm.
time I'll write the slide a couple times, make sure my dots on, brightness is good, take a couple good side pictures, good couple trigger presses. And I always Barney on the first round. I don't know why I do it, but I always take the first round of my first mag, uh, put it in the chamber, and then I always start with the big stick unless I have to reload to a big stick. But I usually shoot with the big stick. So I have two mag pouches and then the big stick, and then that's about it. And then I always take three really big breaths before I take my hand off the gun. That's about it.
Hmm. Right. I don't blame you on that. Like I do the doesn't matter what it is, I will
Mm,
Barney unless it's an unloaded start. I
mm,
do that as well. But I do, yeah, I make sure I breathe out. Like
mm,
if it's not one breath, it's just one big old exhale. Be like,
mm,
all right, let's go. Like
mm.
just clear it
I
last,
always
good
do it
thought,
to
and let it rip.
I always do it to get my heart rate down because I feel like whenever I go up there, I get like I all the adrenaline's already coming, so my heart rate's just going up and up. And so just by doing like those deep breaths, it helps me kind of come back to reality and just all right, don't think, just perform and just kind of get the stage and just crush it pretty much.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, that's a good way to thinking about it too,
mm.
right? You having a good thought about it and oh shit. Things flopping out of my hands. But anyway, no, and it's good to get that. And a lot of people probably don't think about that to get
Mm,
their heart rate down to get ready to go because
mm.
some people just stay jacked the whole time. So,
I mean, Todd told me he
um,
used to do yoga to help control his breathing. And he would do yoga for a long time and just like practice controlling his breath, and that's helped him like get his heart rate down really low, just to just chill.
mhm. That
I mean, you
makes
watch him
sense.
shoot, and
Definitely makes sense.
He doesn't even look fast. He's just fast, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. That there's a lot of people in this sport who don't look fast, but the time shows that they're efficient and they can burn a stage down. That's for sure. So we've talked about the Blue Bullets a little bit, but including Blue Bullets, do you have any other sponsors?
I'm currently backed by Shooting Sports Innovations, G Tool, and then the gun shop. I always keep them in my jersey, for some personal reasons. And then Make Stuff Better as well.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, awesome guy, love him.
Mm-hmm. We like Brian. We don't like Maddie, though. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
No, the Wolves are good people. I will say that. Brian and Matt have been very nice to me.
Mhm.
I'll say this. So we were recording this on 4/7.
Mhm.
I called Brian on Friday, and we just bull crapped for an hour. It was just a good conversation. It was always a good time, though. But yep. So. But all right. But other than that, so we talked about the people who help support you, which is awesome, and it's nice that they do back you and help you out. If people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do it? Where can they find you?
I'd say Instagram. I'm on my phone a lot because I'm a high schooler. That's pretty much it. I don't really check my email, so the best way to contact me would be either through text or Instagram. Occasionally Facebook whenever I open it.
Right. Well, that's not bad. Not bad at all. But Dillion, thank you, man, for coming on and chit-chatting with me and having a good time this Sunday evening, taking time out of your day. And no problem. It was a blast. I appreciate you coming on and chatting it up with me. So I do appreciate that. But listeners, until next time, please get out and do the things. I'll see you on the next